Our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce. We all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, the summer heat is back here in North Mississippi. Did you enjoy the 90s today? Well, unfortunately, they're going to be here to stay for a little longer, but that's just summer making its mark. You know, we had that little nice break, but unfortunately that has passed. What we're tracking here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10, here at the Room to Room Weather Center, will be more on those temperatures. Just how long does that summer heat stick around for? Well, unfortunately, for longer than what we want. But what the thing is that we're most concerned with is the mugginess, and that mugginess gradually builds because of that southeasterly wind cycling in a bit of that Gulf moisture, and that's exactly why those feels like values feels a little bit more oppressive than just the upper 80s and low 90s. Minimal rain chances for Friday, and that's what one thing we'll be tracking, as well as just what to expect with those rain chances, where to expect it, and can we go forward with some Friday afternoon plans? Well, a little sneak peek. Yes, we should be good to go. Let's start with a live look outside on the North Mississippi Storm Chaser camera there in Aberdeen. 75, dew point right around 75 as well. So what that means is we're not cooling off too much from here, probably dropping to the 72, 73 mark as that dew point starts to drop as well. You notice a few of those cirrus clouds way high up in the sky, so that's the only thing that we have in our sky right now. Rain chances have moved on out, and we're left with a beautiful night sky across North Mississippi. If you don't see it in Aberdeen, well, you'll see it in Tupelo. 82 degrees, still feels like 88 at 10 o'clock at night, to give you a perspective of how much that mugginess is playing a factor. But 82 degrees shows you how hot it was today, as we're slowly but surely starting to cool off a bit more. In Cleveland, coming in with 79 degrees, feels like 82. This is much different than even what we had 24 hours ago. So a sign of that warming trend, and we're continuing to soak up that heat and soak up the sweat as we head into that forecast. Just how hot it is outside. You walk outside and you'll start sweating like that. So the first 12, that's what we're tracking, is how long that heat sticks around for. 72 towards tomorrow morning. Some areas higher than that because of how low those dew points drop. Again, the temperature can't surpass that dew point. So as long as the dew point remains at 75, well, we're not dropping past 75. But 77 by 8, 87 by 11, plenty of sunshine in store for our Friday. So it's going to be looking great in the sky as long as we can stay cool here on the ground. Here's a look at Mississippi Live Weather Radar as of 10:02. As we cycle that back over the last 3 hours or so, you can see several outflows that were interacting with the atmosphere and producing some of those light to moderate showers. Even a few rumbles of thunder cycled in there, but overall what we're seeing right now, all of those basically dissolved on out by, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we jump to now. I'm going to actually change radar sites over to Memphis because I do see some showers that are starting to move in just a bit. Not going to be overly high on those rain chances, but we'll see that over there by, well, actually, let's cycle it through because it looks like those are on the downward trend. So we're going to go back an hour or so. And as those start to move in, so they're just kind of popping up right there around Horseshoe Lake, Anthony subdivision, possibly moving down there towards Beaudry, Hollywood, and Marionette. But overall, it's kind of a stretch reaching here to North Mississippi, and I would put a path on this. It looks like they're moving southwesterly now that I'm taking a look at that. So as we do the latest scan, I'm going to grab this one right here, that leading edge, and extend it. I think 10 miles an hour is a bit of a stretch, but we're talking Commerce Landing by about 10:16, moving further south, probably not crossing that Highway 61 corridor, just a bit of a stretch of the imagination. Not really seeing overly high on those rain chances. And looking back now, as I'm taking a look at these showers and kind of assessing it, I'm going to zoom out because you know what this is. This was that batch of showers that they were tracking on models that they were not getting the positioning right. Earlier, they had that positioning out there towards right in this general area. Oh, I'm so sorry. That screen did not like that. But Panola and Lafayette County. Then models took it way out here towards Jonesboro and Sarcy over there towards towards Arkansas. Now we're kind of getting that middle ground, and that's where you're getting that development of a few of those isolated showers. So that's really the area it's going to primarily stick around over there towards the Mississippi River. So more of that development closer to 11, 12 o'clock before really dissolving on out. Again, this is not going to be a significant threat overnight. Where we got rainfall, yeah, some of those outputs have been on the higher end. Let's just highlight a few of those over there towards Tishomingo, about 3/4 of an inch. I will say some spots, and I just didn't get it right on the bullseye, were up to an inch down around Highway 43 in Marion County, 1.2 inches just outside of the Mississippi and Alabama state line around Soligent, 1/2 inch, and down south towards Pickens County. The big winner, 1.8 inches. Hey, Pickens County, we all need some rainfall. Let's share the love a little bit. But even as far west as Columbus, I mean, coming in with 1/2 inch, we actually got a great weather watcher picture down around Columbus. Can't wait to show you guys that here in just a moment. But let's even assess what happened up and around Memphis, 5/100ths of an inch. We're counting everything here in North Mississippi. That's how dry it's been. And so every 100th of an inch matters in regards to that drought monitor. And again, we'll take it all in as we can get it. But water vapor kind of shows us that drier forecast. So yes, there is that little batch of moisture that's trying to stick around there towards Hamilton, Russellville, basically northwest Alabama. Out here towards North Mississippi, that orange that's popping up, that's that drier air on our legend up top right there. So that's going to primarily be in the forecast for our Friday with some more of those northwest Alabama moisture, some more of that cycling back into our forecast for North Mississippi. Not for the entirety, but at least for a few locations could see some of those isolated showers. Whenever we're looking at the best areas for rain chances, North Alabama has been a hot commodity here recently, but even down there around the Gulf, that's where we've gotten, most of our rain chances this summer. So it's no surprise that they're still cycling through a few of those pop-up showers. That low also cycling in a bit of that moisture out in the Atlantic. As you can see, that counterclockwise motion, I'll draw a better arrow there, reaching towards North Carolina as far west as Tennessee, but our big weather maker is going to primarily be up and around, I realize I'm blocking the screen, up around Nebraska, South Dakota. You can see that severe thunderstorm watch in place for this evening up there. We were walking through that negatively tilted trough at 6. Well, that's exactly the reason why we're getting some severe weather up there up until 3 a.m. and a few severe thunderstorm warnings. Some of those look like some bow echoes, and possibly derechos as I'm looking at that now. So we could be seeing some strong wind gusts coming out of that. So our thoughts and prayers are with those folks up north. Hopefully they stay on the safe side, but let's go ahead and talk about the North Mississippi forecast, which is not anything severe, not even a drop of rainfall really in the forecast for a lot of us. As we take a look at Futurecast here, you're basically going to see that cloud cover linger over there towards North Alabama, a few of those getting into North Mississippi, but that dominant high pressure, I'm actually going to expand this out just a bit. That dominant high pressure has been the big driver in our forecast. Some of those upper level lows, that's where we're getting some of those pop-up showers. But again, North Mississippi is on the much drier side, and Futurecast shows those showers primarily sticking around Arkansas before dissolving out towards our Friday morning. So no threat for rain chances for our Friday morning commute. Should be great for teachers, students, parents, anyone that's out and around at 6 a.m. Well, it's looking perfect for submitting your weather watcher pictures. Should expect beautiful sunrises tomorrow morning. 9 a.m., that southeasterly wind, you can kind of see that blowing in, and that's going to bring in some of that Gulf moisture and unfortunately some of those, or fortunately should I say, some of those Gulf showers as well. Not overly high on those rain chances, but those do start to pick up by mid to late afternoon on our Friday. You can really see those clouds popping up. These will be those high-end cumulus clouds that are those cotton ball-like structures that whenever you get some lift to them, they could produce those brief isolated showers, and they're not very big. As Matt was tracking earlier this evening, it was about a half a mile all the way up to about 2 miles, and that was the most extensive rainfall we got. So definitely we'll take what we can get, but if they're that small, we're not going to see a lot of folks get those rain chances tomorrow. So next 24, there's your rain chances, and I know that there's a large threshold from 12 to 6. Really what this is that there's going to be the chance at getting one of those brief isolated showers from noon all the way up until 6, not overly high on those rain chances. Primarily that threshold will be about 3 to 6. I wish there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5% chance, because that definitely would have been included with like a 2% chance of rainfall by noon, about a 6% chance of rainfall by 3, and then we'll get up to 10% chance of rainfall by 6. I just want to show you that there is the chance at moisture moving into the forecast as early as noon and as late as about 6 p.m. So one of the things we'll be walking through here on Futurecast in just a moment, or actually here in the next 60, is the latest on that forecast. We also have weather watcher pictures. That one down in Columbus, definitely a sight to behold. So we'll get to all take that in here together on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. So just make sure to keep it here in the next minute. We have a lot more to talk about and a lot more for your weekend forecast ahead. We'll see you back here in just a minute.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce. We all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, all the more reason to have the Mississippi Live Weather app downloaded. If you did, well, we have that SkyCam network with the North Mississippi Storm Chasers right there. You could have pulled it up and viewed the meteor, in the moment last night as that shot across the sky, that fireball up in the sky. It was beautiful to take in, not shown on just one camera. That was just the Macon SkyCam. We also had it on the, I believe, the Tupelo SkyCam. And I want to say Oxford, but I might be wrong on that. But definitely a cool sight to behold. That's just a result of the meteor shower that's been ongoing. Not at its peak threshold, but you could get a few of those bright ones that formed last night. So definitely a great shot there. And a big thank you to the North Mississippi Storm Chasers for catching that and submitting that here at Mississippi Live Weather. We appreciate all you guys do, especially with that SkyCam network, of course. But let's go ahead and walk through your Weather Watcher pictures. Grady and Boonville catching another spectacle up in the sky. A beautiful rainbow over the new Boonville field. Hopefully breaking that in here soon. But it looks great over that field, and just a great shot of one of those isolated showers. Small, but definitely a shower nonetheless. And so that's why we get some of that interaction with the moisture and the sunshine whenever it hits it just right. Well, we get those rainbows to form. And it wasn't just up around Boonville. Joy in Alcorn County got a great shot there. That was some of those isolated showers moving through Tishomingo County. This was, I believe, driving across Highway 72. So you got a great shot looking out towards the east, and then you get a great shot of the rainbow. So thank you to Weather Watcher Joy out in the field doing a public service by getting us some great shots up there in the sky. So if you have Weather Watcher pictures, make sure to submit it to us. And speaking of, we have one more to go through. This is Ray in Columbus, and that looks like it's probably just some scud if I were assessing it. I was looking back at radar imagery, no rotation with this storm at all. So don't worry, that is not a tornado or anything that's starting to reach towards the ground. No, it's at most a cold air funnel, but honestly what I think is that's just some scud that's kind of piecing off from the cloud. You can see a bit of that shelf from that isolated storm that's rolling on through. So a great shot from Ray in Columbus. Definitely taking a better look at that here in the future to see what exactly happened, but either a cold air funnel or a scud cloud, and we'll assess that more in detail. But a great shot nonetheless. So if you have Weather Watcher photos, make sure to submit those here at Mississippi Live Weather. We again love seeing stuff like this. We love seeing rainbows. We love seeing sunsets. Anything and everything that you see up in the sky, or shoot, if it's even a way to stay cool, submit that and we'll include it here on Mississippi Live Weather. Give you a special shout out because you are a part of our team, Weather Watchers. We love you guys out in the field, and we could not do it without you. Let's go ahead and walk through our sky camps. What are we seeing right now? Well, Macon coming in 76 degrees, feels like 75. That dew point right around 73. So some areas will be cooler than others because that dew point starting to drop just a bit more. I'm waiting right here because I want to see if there's a meteor in the sky. Yeah, do you think we could chance that? I don't think we'd be waiting here a little while to reach that. So unfortunately, you have to move on. But if you want to take a look, Mississippi Live Weather app today, and if you snap a photo, we'll make sure to use it tomorrow night. 81 degrees there in Pontotoc, feels like 84. And guys, it's 10 o'clock at night. It should not be this warm, but it's summer, so it's not unusual. It's just not really appreciated. Especially, I don't like the hot weather. I like 70 degrees with drier air, and that's a perfect forecast in my eyes. And even as we take a look over in Winona, 75 feels like 73, but that dew point, it's still 73 degrees, still warm, still muggy, and it will be the case heading into our morning commute for our Friday. So yes, we are at Friday. Woo! One more day of the work week, one more day of school for students. First full week back in school. So yes, one more day, and then you get to enjoy the weekend. 77 by 11, 75 by 2, and towards tomorrow morning, 72 degrees. So still a mild start to the day, but still a drier start to the day. Walking through that futurecast, you can see that batch of moisture that's out there towards Memphis right now. Model's definitely a little bit late on that development. This is happening at about 2 a.m. Well, it's actually happening at about 10 p.m. So the track that this takes, expect for the next couple of hours all the way up until about midnight to 1 a.m., not 4, 5, and 6. So pushing that forward just a bit, a little bit behind on those rain chances. So what that means is Friday morning going to be starting off on the drier side for our morning commute. But mild conditions like we talked about, a few areas that cool off enough. 69 there towards Bruce, 69 Hamilton. So some areas still in the upper 60s, but then there's some other locations that is 73 Belzona, 74 over and around Greenville. So for that school bus tomorrow morning, a mild start to the day, but then a hot finish, 92 degrees as students get dropped off from the bus. You see partly cloudy skies throughout the day, so some of those cumulus clouds starting to develop whenever they get enough lift. That's where you could get some of those brief isolated showers. So that's what we're watching here on Futurecast right now. 7:30 a.m. on our Friday. You can see that wind gusting in from the southeast, and that's going to be perfect for fishing like we talked about earlier today. But unfortunately, it's going to be pushing that mugginess back in the forecast. So as you can see, cloud cover building into the Golden Triangle area by 10:30. Heading into noontime, that cloud cover really starts to expand. These are going to be high-end cirrus clouds, but also the chance for a few of those cumulus clouds. And like we talked about, cumulus clouds can produce some of those brief isolated showers. 1:30 continues to move in just a bit more, and then by, lose my voice, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, some of those isolated showers popping up, those lingering around Sunflower County and all the way southeast towards Noxubee County. So watching both of those areas. Really, if you're south of Highway 82, that's been where models have been having the best chances of rainfall. But you might notice, chances not overly high. We're talking about 10% for tomorrow in the entirety. High temperatures, 94 Bruce, 94 Grenada, 97 towards Greenwood, and 98 towards Greenville. Always the local high temperature on our graphic. So unfortunately, that continues to reign true for our forecast tomorrow. Heat indices, don't worry, Greenville, you're not the hottest. You're the second hottest. 103 for feels like values, 104 Clarksdale. Further east of I-55, we're talking low to mid 90s. So it's going to feel a bit more muggy in that forecast. So make sure to have that water handy. You're going to need to stay hydrated all throughout your Friday. Friday evening looks great for any overnight plans. So make sure to get out in the community, enjoy those outdoor plans, because even by 9, 10 o'clock, it's going to be much cooler. So it's actually bearable to get out in the community. So make sure to support local and just enjoy the community, enjoy your weekend. 6 a.m. on your Saturday, still winds pushing in from the east a bit more. That's keeping that mugginess around just a bit. Start to transition more southeast, and then that's where the mugginess really starts to build. I want to say one thing. This model is hyper aggressive on those rain chances. So while it's going to say multiple isolated showers all throughout the day, we're really suspecting about a couple, several at most of those isolated showers, and they're really not going to be too impactful. A brief heavy rainfall at most, but not really going to be an electric cell or anything like that. So 6, we see those chances fizzle out altogether, and then we're going to be dry overnight and into our Sunday. But Sunday sets the scene for more of those rain chances, and that's one of the things we're walking through. It's going to be those rain chances for our Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. High temperatures, though, for your Saturday, further east with that cloud cover, we're still seeing 89 the local low temperature there in Hamilton. It's the same thing up around Boonville. 93 Water Valley, 96 Greenwood, 95 Belzona, 97 Greenville. We're even seeing 95 towards Tunica and 94 right around South Haven. Heat indices, triple digits along the Mississippi River, where it's always the most moist environment, but out towards the east, mid to upper 90s. So still going to be hot, still going to be muggy. And that latest drought monitor coming in with that level 1 drought, Yalobusha, Panola, and Lafayette County. And even as we take a look further southwest, Greenville starting to get in that drought monitor, and same thing with Franklin County. That percent of normal precipitation, this is going to be over the past 30 days. So showing that drier environment that's moving in. And this is why, Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon and I were talking behind the scenes that we were honestly surprised that the drought monitor only tied in what it did. I wouldn't be surprised to see that reach further out towards the east, especially if rain chances are very limited towards next week, if they become much less. But definitely around the Golden Triangle, we're sitting below average. And then same thing, except for Boonville. Shout out Boonville. You've gotten your rainfall. You can share the love a little bit, Blue Devils. 57% in Iuka and 61% in Corinth. We actually took it over the past year. And this is really what we're riding on for that drought monitor, because basically Clarksdale, further east towards I-55, that's the threshold that has been sitting below average. Everywhere else is above average. But all of this basically happened over a very short time frame, April to May and parts of June. Since then, it's been a much drier forecast, so that's why all of these totals are starting to come down, and we will see that drought monitor probably expand even more unless there will be some significant rainfall for the start of next week. Speaking of, that 7-day forecast highlights those rain chances starting to pick up for Sunday, but then Monday, Tuesday coming in with about 40%. This is going to be our best threshold for getting some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms, and hopefully it can make a dent on that drought monitor. Beyond that, isolated chances do linger on into the midweek next week, but we know with summer forecasting, these rain chances love to flip-flop in that forecast and basically go from 40 to 0 the next day. So models very inconsistent, and they've been inconsistent on this, so we're hopeful that this means that it's going to be more of a higher chance of rainfall. So we're going to be tracking that into the forecast for your 5, 6, and 10 on Mississippi Live Weather on Friday night. So all the more reason to stay tuned for that. And of course, tracking the heat. If these rain chances come down, that heat, that builds even more. So we need to be tracking both of those things, and we will be doing exactly that tomorrow evening. We thank you so much for joining us here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We hope you have a fantastic night. Stay cool tomorrow morning. And if you can't tomorrow morning, well then, good luck by the afternoon. No, just stay cool all day long and stay hydrated. And of course, stay informed with the Mississippi Live Weather app. You can submit your Weather Watcher pictures. Shout out, please submit your pictures. iOS and Android, you can scan that on your screen right now. Make sure to share it with friends, family, neighbors, whoever. Person you walk by on the sidewalk. You know, maybe they don't have the app. Let them know. So that way we can get the whole community informed and the whole community with all the weather knowledge that they need for the forecast ahead. It can also get you a 7-day forecast. It can get you a futurecast. It can get you live radar, tracking those showers as they pop up. So all the more reason to download it. And the last reason, but the most important, it gives you a 24/7 live stream right here to Mississippi Live Weather for our coverage at 5, 6, and 10, and beyond that with extensive coverage all day long. We'll see you back here tomorrow evening. We thank you so much for joining us. And of course, have a happy Friday.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.